We have this multi-jurisdictional setup. We have many different nationalities in Luxembourg. So it does not start only with the different language skills. We have the international schools. So obviously Luxembourg is not the mass destination when we see international families moving to Luxembourg. That is more Switzerland or Italy. But Luxembourg is a financial center.
Hello again, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the FT studios in London for the latest episode of the PWM Tea Break with my guest, Susanne D'Anterroches, a counsel in the investment management practice of Luxembourg-based law firm Arendt Medernach.
I have chosen Earl Grey tea today.
Earl Grey tea. Where did you get the taste for the Earl Grey tea from?
What has been during my English study time. It is kind of a tradition with my professor that we always had this type of tea, kind of a starting, giving a fruit for a kick to the day.
And when you mention the kick for the day, you're also a taekwondo coach, so you're doing a few kicks in your spare time as well. What is the first thing that you say to them that they have to learn? Is it about calmness? Is it about defense? Or is it about the attack?
Taekwondo is composed of different pillars. You have the self-defense pillar, you have the combat, you have the technique part, and obviously you have the perseverance. You have to control, you have to analyze, to assess the situation. I say, okay, just be open and be self-confident.
And these are a lot of attributes that Luxembourg has been developing. As you say, the preservation, the self-defense, the ideas, the confidence. Do you feel that Luxembourg is broadcasting these enough when they attract wealthy families to the country?
We have this multi-jurisdictional setup. We have many different nationalities in Luxembourg. So it does not start only with the different language skills. We have the international schools. So obviously Luxembourg is not the mass destination when we see international families moving to Luxembourg. That is more Switzerland or Italy. But Luxembourg is a financial center. So families coming to Luxembourg are coming to Luxembourg if they have already EU-wide exposure in place or if they have already Luxembourg structures in place.
Last week, we had an interview with Alicia Levine from Bank of New York. Alicia was saying all our clients are interested in digital assets when they're going up, but not so interested when the price is going down. When there's such a speculative asset, Susanne, is it right for Luxembourg to really be tying its colours to this mast?
So Luxembourg invested a lot in the setting up of its processes and to remain on the front position in this field. Not only service providers, also management companies, alternative investment fund managers, they extended their licenses to be able to provide services in this digitalization environment. On the one side, the service providers with their very senior teams who speak the same language as the families do. So, and on the other side, we have the families who are very sophisticated, so they're very interested in this topic, and also they're including the digital assets in their structuring. Investment funds, for example, they are setting up. So it is important that the service providers can adapt and can talk with them the same language so that the families do not need to talk to chatbots, which we want to avoid. We have the senior experts still on the ground, so the human and technical infrastructure is there.
Excellent. And another great theme or megatrend is the ESG, the environmental, social and governance investing. And I know it's something you developed an appetite for during your time in London, in Canary Wharf, when you were working very much with the impact funds. And we had opinion piece by Jasper von Brakel, and he was saying to us that ESG is not dead, despite what the Americans say, that the wealthy families can help redefine and regenerate this type of investing.
Families plan their structuring on the long term. They do not need to follow short-term movements like we can see it in the international environment. So families are structuring their wealth based on their history, based on their philosophy. They want to maintain their values. So they are indeed also investing in impact projects, in ESG. And then on the other side, when they are investing in it, we can also see that the ESG topic in a regulated environment requires certain regulatory obligations.
Do you feel that the private clients you speak to, are they interested in this defense dividend?
The defense is developing from a niche to a growing asset, to a core asset. And this is beyond the fact that we have the Ukraine war or the war in the Middle East. We have certainly a very challenging geopolitical situation. Again, coming back to the long-term structuring intent of the families, because they want to maintain their values, their history, and that is why they also do invest in defense assets. So this combination between the public and the private sector is appealing for those families. And what we also have to see, the ESG factor is not really excluding that.
My colleague Elliot, he was interviewing Patrice Mesnier last week, who works for a Luxembourg investment firm. And Patrice was saying private markets, they behave just like you expect them to. The issue is when firms are promising liquidity when it doesn't really exist.
Investing in private assets, such like private debt, means that your capital is inaccessible for a certain point of time. So that is generally a period, private debt, for example, between 7 to 10 years. So the investors need to know that they cannot access their investment, and they need to plan that, they include it in their financial planning.
When I recently met the partners in your private client business at your head offices in Luxembourg, they could not hide their joy about the numbers of wealthy families that were moving to Luxembourg to do their structuring, but also bringing the physical assets. And my colleague Elisa, she recently recorded a video with Rianne Anwen Hanwell, who is a long-term practitioner in the family offices space. And Rianne was saying, we can't just concentrate on the financial assets now. We have to also be concentrating on the people.
We're in the middle of this sale or transfer of assets to the next generation. So it is enormous wealth transfer which is currently taking place. And we have two situations. So we have either family offices who are already in Luxembourg but are more smaller entities until now. So they are indeed investing in the human and financial capital. So they're expanding their teams so that the decision-making center is coming to Luxembourg. So the value is moving up the chain in Luxembourg. It is not the pure back office anymore. And then what we obviously see also, as I said at the beginning, we have families moving to Luxembourg to establish, to settle up their business in Luxembourg, absolutely.
But to be a true Luxembourger, you have to speak Luxembourgish. Can that be tricky for some of the newcomers?
Of course, Luxembourgish people prefer if you talk their language. You can also survive with French, German, English. There is absolutely no issue. Their Italian community is very big. The kids are playing in one street. You have Danish, you have Spanish, you have English, you have from all different nationalities, and they're talking in Luxembourgish. So that is the language spoken in the school, and that is what the kids are talking to each other.
Well, Susanne, you're certainly speaking our language with all the mega trends you're describing in wealth and asset management. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Yuri. It was a pleasure.
And that brings today's episode to a close. Next week, we have a wonderful topic ahead of us. Who makes the best portfolio manager, the human or the machine? So please start sending in your questions, and I look forward very much to seeing you all during forthcoming episodes of the PWM Tea Break.